All right, America, I'm happy to have my brother Ray Caesar Leo here with me on this one. Because we get a chance to talk about his beloved Dallas Cowboys. And we get a chance to talk about somebody who is I'm just enamored by at the moment. By his by his audacity.
Yeah.
Just how this man out here just moving like this right now. And that's Antonio Brown, who I simply call him booming. You understand? So letting y'all know that off top. So when I refer to booming the rest of this segment, you know I'm talking about the man himself, AB. But y'all see what the headline is down there. Okay. The question is simply will AB be booming next year in Big D? If y'all don't know America, he was on the Pivot podcast, which is a relatively new podcast, kind of splintered off of I Am Athlete. You know, Channing Crowder's over there, Fred Taylor's over there. They brought in Ryan Clark, but they had Antonio Brown on it this time. Very interesting episode. Make sure you go check that out. I have to check out all segments and put on some of this. And amongst them, a myriad of things, including them talking about how AB and RC got to nearly got to fighting back in the gap, and hearing some of those stories from the Pittsburgh days, that was dope. But also seeing that AB, who wore the Kanye mask for part of the interview, who was just on there with one glove on some Mike Jackson type.
I was just about to say, on some Mike Jackson, yeah.
Okay, this man been hanging out with Kanye, hanging out with Madonna and Floyd Mayweather and all these folks. Man. And he says he is what I tell you. He say he is iconical.
Iconical, correct. New word alert.
So this self-proclaimed iconical player says he's interested to come into, I guess you got to say, the most iconical team in the NFL. Okay? I don't see what the problem is. I don't see why my brother doesn't like this. Y'all getting ready to ship, or y'all already shipped out Amari Cooper.
Already shipped.
So tell me, as the resident Dallas Cowboy expert, you tell me why this doesn't make sense.
First of all, happy to be with you. Let me say that first and foremost. Listen, we just traded Amari Cooper for a 5th and 6th round pick, by the way. That's a story for another day. Cowboys suck at trades. That's just the name of the game. Jerry Jones is a master magician when it comes to business, but he's horrible at trades. It is what it is. We also are probably going to be without another one of our receivers, the Michael Gallup, as he recovers from ACL surgery. So I don't even think, if you're thinking logically, you don't want to rush that young man back if you plan on, re-signing him. So he won't be there for most of the year, right? Mm-hmm. Cedric Wilson can test the free agent waters. So there'll be a lot of teams out there looking for him.
Sounding like this is making sense.
So really, you're looking at CeeDee Lamb.
And boom.
CeeDee Lamb as the one guy that is going to be back, that is a fixture in the wide receiving core. Yeah, we franchised Dalton Schultz, our tight end, so we have that weapon coming back. But it begs the question: who else is going to go? Mm-hmm. Who else is going to go with CD? Who else is that going to look at on opening day? Because that's what I always go back to. You can't worry about week 6 if you don't take care of week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Listen, man. When you say it out loud, it doesn't sound bad. It really doesn't. From a standpoint of you need weaponry. When Dak has weapons, and I'm not talking about playoffs, because I don't look at Dak as a playoff, top-notch QB right now. He's got to prove that. But I'm just saying, when you got to play week in and week out, Dak has shown you what he can do when you give him weapons. He can be at the top of the food chain in yards, touchdowns, passer rate, and so on and so forth. So, on the surface, it sounds amazing to bring in a guy who we know can still do it. I make fun of AB all the time, but I do not make fun of AB's football skills. He is still a top tier wide receiver. That didn't go away, in my opinion. It didn't go away. Here's why it can't work. Here's why it can't work. It won't work. I hope it doesn't work. If you were telling me that AB was going to play with your team, if he was going to play with your team, I'd be like, cool. One, because it's not my team. But two, there is some guys there that could rein him in. With the Cowboys, they have finally, in my opinion, they have finally understood that there's a culture that they have built. It took a while, but they have built it to the point where they know who they are offensively. And now they got to stick to the script. One of the hardest things Jerry Jones had to do, in my opinion, was cut loose of Dez Bryant. He loved Dez Bryant. They had an entire falling out because, in the grand scheme of things, Jerry Jones chose his quarterback. He chose the investment. I'm putting so many millions of dollars in this guy's hand. I can't have an ego guy, a guy that is going to put pressure on him to throw him the ball every time. So he made that decision, a tough one, especially for Cowboy fan. If you ask most Cowboy fan, they love Dez Bryant. But Jerry Jones made that decision to say, I'm not going to let you ruin my investment. Well, if he'll do that to Dez Bryant, who is a face of Cowboys across this nation and across the league, and when he was in his prime, what do you think AB will do to the man? AB has put legends in psychological headlocks. Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, those guys walked away from him like, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know what's going on. Dak can't handle that. He cannot. It'll be good on the surface because in the beginning it'll be CeeDee Lamb and AB, and my goodness, that sounds amazing. Somebody's open.
You starting to like it.
I like on the surface, it sounds amazing, but what happens when he starts looking at CD or his favorite target for real, his favorite target in Dalton Schultz on 3rd and 5, and AB has turned the guy around and gotten upfield, but Dak just went with the easy, first down. When we come back to that sideline, it's going to be a problem. And I'm just telling you, if the GOAT QB couldn't settle him in, if Ben Roethlisberger, a fixture of Pittsburgh Steelers franchise, cannot get him to chill out, nobody can get him to chill out. And I get nervous at the idea. When we talked about it through text, I got nervous about it. But then I remember,
because y'all will do this. Yeah, that deep down, y'all will do this.
Well, we talked about it. You brought up my name, and I didn't forget. But like when you said it, it just made me nervous again. Remember we brought in Greg Hardy, America. My brother hit me in the text and was like, "Who signed Greg Hardy?" We did. Jerry Jones did. Like, and
I was asking who, like, because I couldn't remember if it was Steven or Jerry.
Yeah, it was Geritol Jones, man. It was.
Get your act
and so, I mean, I'm just saying. Do you remember? And you may not remember like I remember it because I'm a Cowboys fan, and like you just remember stuff. Do you remember the year Johnny Manziel was drafted? And the whole thing was they thought he was going to the Cowboys because he had kept.
Because y'all almost got him because Jerry Jones wanted that man.
And he had his finger on the button, and Steven had to talk him out of it. We ended up drafting Zach Martin, still playing for us now, Hall of Famer, right? Hall of Fame offensive lineman, all pro every year. But in that moment, it did not feel that way. It felt like they kept showing the camera of Johnny Manziel waiting for his name to be called, and we went another route. Best thing that could have ever happened was Stephen Jones stepping up to the plate and saying, I don't know if he calls him Dad, if he calls him Jerry. I really don't. I imagine he probably calls him Jerry and said, Jerry. Because these are two money men. And when they're in the room, he's not Dad, it's Jerry.
Right.
Jerry, we probably need to, trust the film on this one, man. This is not the guy. I would simply tell Steven to walk into Jerry's office again and say, I know what you're thinking. I know it. I know, but we got to check the tape. And somebody will say back to me, yeah, check the tape. You just said he's all still a top tier receiver. I'm not talking about that tape. I'm talking about this tape, the Pivot Podcast tape. Check that tape. Check the sideline tape. Check those tapes. Then you'll know.
He kept it together on the Pivot Podcast. I think he made some decent points.
Yeah, yeah.
To Ryan Clark. Okay, I think he made some decent points.
Yeah.
I got another question to throw back at you. Then tell me something about how does Cowboys Nation, two parts then. How does Cowboys Nation feel about T.O.? And how does Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones feel about T.O. to this day?
That's a great comp.
Because I've said before that AB
Yeah.
is the baby
Yeah.
of Kanye, T.O. and Dennis Rodman. They got together and they made AB.
Ain't no doubt. No doubt about it.
How do y'all as Cowboys Nation feel about T.O.? How do y'all feel about? How does your front office feel about T.O. to this day?
Yeah, I just they appreciate T.O. They really do. Like it's not one of those things where you may not see him come around as much as like Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin's a legend. Like he won Super Bowls. He's in their commercials and like pregame, videos and all that. That's different.
His off the field.
Yeah.
Mike off the field had,
But it's all the same. Like, so I really do think there's an appreciation, obviously from Cowboy fans, but from the Jones family as well, to just say, we know the track record of Cowboys with receivers. Like they'll go and get that type of guy that what comes off as me, but they're really just super passionate guys with unbelievable talent. So they have an ultimate confidence about themselves that they should always get the ball. That's the thing that people missed about Dez. It wasn't that he was a me guy. It was just he believed in his ability that much. T.O. as well. Well, T.O. is one of the top 5 receivers of all time. He should feel that way. Right. You know what I mean? Like AB feels he is still one of the top 5 receivers in the game. So he is always going to feel slighted if you defer to someone else on third down or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so there is a fine line though between the ultimate confidence and wrecking your team. And that would be my only pushback with AB. Man, I don't have a problem with AB's talent. I don't have a problem with AB being eccentric. All of my wide receivers at some point in time have shown they can be a little bit outlandish. I have no problem with that. I even appreciate the fact of AB calling out certain things in the league that I think we've kind of known, but he puts it on blast. I appreciate all of that. The problem I have with him is sometimes he lets the ego get in the way of the success, not his individual success, but of team success. If I'm AB's agent, I definitely call the Cowboys and say, we here. You know what I mean? We're here waiting on you. But if I'm the Cowboys, I would say, is it worth bringing him in on a gamble to know that he's going to do everything physically to be at the top of his game? He's going to do that. But at some point, you're going to run the risk of him cracking on the field. And when that happens, it'll implode. It'll implode big time. We've seen that.
Now, your team, Dallas Cowboys, #1 franchise in all of sports. My franchise, Los Angeles Lakers, #1 franchise in basketball. And I see right now that looks like my franchise is out to make money and stay in the in the limelight rather than win a title.
Stay in the relevant business.
Because it made no sense for us to bring in Russell Westbrook because we got a full-time point guard by the name of LeBron Raymond James Sr. But it seemed like we were just trying to do what LeBron wanted. Why? Because he sells tickets, he still sells jerseys. Folks can say what they want. He's still the face of the league. Okay? Roll with me on this.
Yep. I already see where you're going, but go ahead.
I know that Jerry Jones loves to make money.
Yes,
he keeps telling me it ain't a check he won't write to get a Super Bowl.
But I help him write the check of his account. I help him write it.
It seemed like that joker there. He loves to see that y'all always are like #1 in the ratings. Just they don't. Yeah, it can be a 3 o'clock game on Sunday. y'all gonna do the thing when it
Yep.
comes to the ratings. Do you think Jerry considers any of the box office part of it? Because that would indeed be, oh my God. But that's the only reason I want to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
told you, I'm intrigued by the Dallas Cowboys anyway. I'm just, it's kind
Yeah.
of like growing up, I was intrigued by Notre Dame football.
Yeah.
They just sell it as something you're supposed to pay attention to. I think this would be so soap opera
It's
to have
fitting.
AB with that stone. Do you think Jerry's gonna consider business, box office, stardom in this decision?
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. When he drafted CD Lamb, he made CD Lamb wear 88. That wasn't his choice.
Yeah, I heard that.
He
I
literally
heard
said,
he wanted
"You're
to.
gonna,
He wanted to wear something else.
yeah, you're gonna wear 88." Why? Dez wore 88. Michael Irvin wore 88. Drew Pearson wore 88. That's the standard of the star wideout for the Dallas Cowboys. So of course he's looking at it from a marketing standpoint. How crazy would it be to get one of the most infamous football players of the generation and of all time, for that matter, put him with the star on the side of his helmet? Well, you already got primetime games, but now you're going to be top of the news every day, and it's like that now, but
Yeah,
every day,
but it's
all
gonna,
day, every day, it's going to go to another
because his social
stratosphere.
media is so crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
His social media, Amari Cooper, I don't even know he be on social.
Nah, he was more of a laid back. He's just a laid back guy.
Yeah,
Um, if the Cowboys did not have a chance to be a perennial postseason, appearance type team, I would say he would do it
now
because
y'all can win that division with AB.
absolutely we can, but we can win
Uh,
it without him. We can win it without him too, and the chemistry will be better.
mhm.
Um,
Tom
we can.
got a bowl out of him that season.
That's what I'm saying. You can do amazing things with him. We've seen that. We literally saw him come in and make an immediate impact because he's that guy. Like he's still that guy that if you have the nerve to play him one on one, he's gonna embarrass you
Right.
because he's still that guy. I think he said that. I think he says I'm that dude. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like,
I'm that guy
I,
you heard.
yeah, I believe him.
That boy, boom, man.
I believe him. That's ultimate confidence, but that's also like this dude is still one of the hardest working football players on the planet. Like he does that for real. So all of that, that's what I'm saying. You can't go against that because he can come on day one, he'll pick up the offense and he will dominate whoever is in front of him. It's just how long can you keep him? I don't want to say he's like a child, so how long can you keep him entertained? But really, like, how long can you keep him engaged? That's the word. How long can you keep him engaged before he becomes more important than we? That's kind of my thing.
Mhm.
AB will always look at it as I will be a team guy as long as you get me involved because my involvement leads to team success. But if that doesn't happen, we can be winning. But if I'm not getting involved, I don't want to be a part of it.
Well, he said he is getting ready to have the surgery, so that should be cleaned up.
Yeah.
So, Cowboys Nation, we want y'all to chime in. NFL fans all together, want y'all to chime in, but especially Cowboys Nation. I want to
Nah,
see what y'all think about that. This one. Do y'all want booming over there in Big D?
he needs to be in Baltimore or Green Bay.
No. Aaron too lame for him. He can't. Him and Aaron, they ain't gonna. Aaron ain't like that. Okay.
Send him to LA. Send him to LA. Let him go ring chasing. Send him to LA. They need somebody. OBJ's gonna be down for a little bit so he can
Cooper
tag
Cup
team
get
with
too
Cooper
many
Cup.
targets though.
And that's when the
That ain't gonna
problems
work. Yeah,
arise.
yeah. Cooper Cup get
That's when the
way. No,
problems
that,
arise.
that, that ain't gonna work.
I know.
That ain't gonna work. CD might be enamored by him. CD young enough to where he probably saw some of the things he was doing over there in Pittsburgh. CD might not be tripping for real.
So all right. So to that point, you just said something that's like it's a major point that we didn't hit, but I think it's important to say. You said CD would be enamored by this guy. You bring in this guy, he can literally mold CD in the wrong way. In the wrong way, because he can come into that locker room. You got to think about it. You're in film study together as wide receivers. You're in team meetings. You sit on the same bench during when the defense is on the field. You're sitting over there kind of going through the last series. So this is the guy that's going to have the most influence on CD too.
But everybody say he's the hardest working guy they've ever seen, though.
No doubt.
So maybe CD starts doing that because CD still ain't really picked up no weight for real. CD drops a lot of balls. His route running compared to Amari's, wasn't the same. So
no, it's not that. It's not that.
Maybe AB can rub off on him in terms of the work ethic at least.
It's always that give and take. It's like
you want it. He wants it, America. I see it in him, but he's trying to be logical and think that he don't want the drama because he's seen this before. He's thinking about T.O. rather than thinking about Mike Irvin. Go back to your childhood.
I've seen it all. I've seen T.O. I've seen Dez, and I've seen AB.
Hey, let y'all tell it. Dez is one bad call away. I say he didn't catch it, but y'all say he caught it.
Yeah.
Okay, now that was with Romo though, right?
That was with Romo. That was with Romo.
But Romo wasn't the greatest leader or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? He just gonna get Dez the ball.
Yeah.
That just need to get booming the ball, man. Y'all gonna get this thing rolling.
We know how this ends, America. No matter where he signs, we know how this ends. You've seen it, you've read it. You're just waiting on the ending. It doesn't matter where he goes. You're just waiting for what I call that. You know how you watch a TV show, say, oh man, that season finale, that series finale. You know how it ends.
Well, I ain't gonna book it. But I got a feeling Jerry Jones might just do this.
Don't do it, Jerry. Steven, where you at?
I think Steven might be there. It's a little bit more of Jerry and Steven than we letting on. Okay, he did block the Johnny Manziel.
He did.
But that's still his daddy. That's still his daddy. America, y'all chime in, tell us what y'all think. Do you think AB will be booming down there in Big D or not? If not, where y'all think that man gonna end up? Put it on something. My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit Statement Tees, LLC.com and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
makes a statement.